Walker has been writing and recording original music since the young age of 14. Born in LA and raised in Canada, coming from a multicultural background and musical family, has given Faith a unique perspective which is reflected in her music. No matter what production she's singing over, Faith Walker's vocals stick out like a diamond in the rough. Sharp and effulgent, these harmonies will spin celestially between your headphones, with your final effect being your head in the clouds. With that being said, Los Angeles born, Toronto raised songstress couldn't have titled her EP better. Embarking on this album designed for a cottony of R&B joyride. Not only does Faith prove magical with her singing, but her command of the early 2000s aesthetic R&B is equally top-notch. Come take a ride with me tonight on an interview as we explore Faith and her struggle with cancer throughout the last 16 years. Enjoy the show. Life goes on, but living ain't easy. Williams, and I am the host and director of this beautiful show here in Chicago. Normally we'll be coming to you on TV, but due to COVID, we're all stuck at home doing our interviews.
Yeah, I know what that's like. Thanks so much for having me.
I'm really glad to have you on. I've been reading a little bit about you, and you know, you have a very inspiring story. So I want you to really, you know, tell our audience about who you are. You know, I understand that you was born in LA, but you was raised in Canada.
Yeah, I was. Came to Canada at a pretty young age, and so I grew up here for the most part. I have family in the States, so I kind of go back and forth here and there, and I always kind of felt more at home there because I see more people that look like me. But it's a, you know, I live about an hour from outside of Toronto, and it's pretty safe and quiet. So.
Okay. And when you say you come from a multicultural background, if you don't mind me asking, what does that mean?
Yeah, so well, my dad's Black American from Mississippi. Um, and then my mother is Maltese and from the UK, like England, Scotland. Um, yeah, so a little bit of a mix there. If I go off of my ancestry DNA results, I'm 14 different ethnicities.
I believe you. I'm the same here. I mean, I got a little Nigerian in me.
Me too.
Just a bunch of different things in me, and I would like to read off a list, but I'm sure if we read that list off to each other, it will be here pretty much all night.
It's a long list.
Yes, yeah. It is.
But it's nice to get some sense of kind of like where people came from because we couldn't really have that before.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I want to know a little bit about your background. It sounds like you've been singing since you were a little girl, and you are actually my first female guest, so welcome.
Oh, really? Okay, yes. I gotta represent then.
You gotta represent. I'm so glad to have you.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. So yeah, I've been singing for as long as I can remember. When I was about 14 is when I started writing my own material and getting the studio recording. So quite a long time.
Now, your genre, is it both inspirational and R&B, or what would you say your different genres are?
I would say it's R&B soul, but there's definitely, you know, there are quite a few songs that are, I would say, inspirational. And in the beginning, I kind of just wrote about like relationships and, you know, those ups and downs and love. But just going through so many issues in my life, I kind of found new purpose in being able to write about some of my struggles. So that's where like the inspirational music comes in. And so, for example, like on my last project, it was probably like 50-50. So like half love relationship songs and half songs about, you know, just going through struggle and keeping your head up.
Okay. And like when you write about the love songs, you know, is it more so about geared towards pain, or is it kind of a mixture of both a personal experience of pain and pleasure?
I would say it's both, definitely. You know, I have a few songs that are really about, you know, toxic relationships and, you know, the downs. And then there's the other songs that are really about like actually finding love after being through all those, you know, going through all those bad relationships. So I think I have a mixture of both.
What do you think will be like one of your going back to the toxic songs, what do you think will be one of a good song that you would recommend for some of my listeners right now today that you can kind of talk about when you wrote the song, where it came from, like the
Yeah.
pain or the love?
Well, one song is called Ain't Easy, and we just shot a video for that this past weekend, so I'm excited about that. Um, yes, I'm very excited.
Okay.
The first verse is really about like my health struggles that I've been through. Goes into some detail with my battle with cancer, and then the second verse is just about like being in that toxic relationship and, you know, coming out the other side, and you know, just remembering that, you know, life isn't always easy, but it, you know, life goes on, and we kind of learn from those experiences and keep it moving. So I would say Ain't Easy, and also Head in the Clouds.
I
That's
love that one.
a big one.
I
That's one of
love
my
that one.
favorite
I
songs.
just been having it on like repeat for the last like 2 hours.
I'm so glad. Yeah, did you see the video for it?
I did. It's a beautiful video. Who is that little girl?
So there's a lot of people that were involved in that video, but that little girl was, I had a close friend of mine. Her name was Raquel. She passed away at 29 from breast cancer, and that was her niece. Her sister was also in the video holding a sign saying, "I lost my sister." And then, yeah, so I kind of had her niece represent me as a younger child. Um, so everybody that was in that video, they're all my friends and family members, and they have all been through like a major struggle and found a blessing in disguise. So I thought it was important to tell different stories with that video, just because, you know, not everybody's going through cancer. Most people can relate. Most people know someone that is going through it, but we all have our struggles no matter what they are. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
I think like it's something that the video people can identify with one story or another.
Yeah, I mean, I identify with the entire song, and I kind of felt in my spirit, like when I seen a little girl, like that was maybe you flashing back from when you were a little girl.
Yeah.
And just going, I want to talk about a number of things with you tonight, especially with you being a survivor of cancer. And I know your battle has been long, hard, and are you still fighting some of?
I am still fighting. I have been fighting on and off for 16 years, and I've had stage 4 metastatic breast cancer since 2008. So at that point in time, and even now, the average lifespan for someone with stage 4 cancer is like 2 to 3 years, and I'm coming up on 12 years. So
Wow.
I'm living with it every day. Um, thank you so much. I've defied the odds, and that's another message that I think is important in my music, that you can defy the odds. You never know, you know, what's around the corner. I was told 2 months ago that I had 2 days to live,
No way.
and I was on like 24-hour oxygen. I was on a pain pump. I was in the hospital. You know, I was saying goodbye to my friends and family and my children. And then I just took a turn and just been getting better and better. Came off oxygen, off the pain pump. So, you know, I've definitely, you know, surpassed what they were expecting. So now I'm going through active treatment again. So I lost my hair for the second time, and actually this Thursday is my last treatment for now. Anyway, I'm going to see what the scans say after that. So.
Well, I just want to tell you that you are absolutely gorgeous. You're breathtaking.
Thank you.
I would never imagine, if I didn't know or read any bios about you or anything like that, I would never know that you were going through cancer. I would just think you're an absolutely gorgeous woman who who is
Oh,
really styling with
thank
her,
you. Rocking the bald head.
rocking the bald head and everything. But
Yes.
I mean, God, hats off to you for your survival and how you're maintaining your beauty and your strength, because that's something that we actually all need right now, is strength. And for you to have gone through the 16 years of being a survivor of this cancer. I hate that word. I hate even saying it.
It's
I
yeah.
admire that. But you know, how has your love life been affected by having this illness?
Well, I've kind of been in like every different situation when it comes to that. So, you know, the first time I went through cancer, I was in a relationship which ended up being a toxic relationship. And then the cancer returned to my bones when I was 30. And I had ended up I was pregnant with my youngest son, and I was 6 months pregnant. I fractured my spine and I had him early. So after all that kind of settled, I was single and I was dating. Um, and of course, you know, it's something that's kind of like, when do you tell somebody? How do you go about it? But then over time, I met the love of my life, and now I'm married, and he's my business manager as well. So
Awesome.
I got the full package. Um, so yeah, it's very different. But I mean, the support that I have now is amazing. I think that's part of the reason that I'm still here is because I have such a strong support system and so much love in my life.
Absolutely. You know, and everything you said is just the honest truth, and I thank you for being honest with me tonight. Because we have a lot of people right now that's going through like toxic relationships, and they may not have the illness or have the pain or have suffered as you have, and for you to have that strength to carry on and to walk away is something that a lot of us women, whoever's watching this tonight, will need to really pay attention to this entire video and podcast, and just know that your life can go on if you're in a toxic relationship.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to love yourself first, and you know, coming out the other side, I guarantee you're going to be happier because nobody's going to be happy in that situation. Like, take it from me, I was happier, even, you know, living with cancer after the fact. I was still happier than I was when I was in that toxic relationship. So it's definitely, and you know, it says a lot to think that, you know, in that relationship, I got cancer twice.
Mhm.
And so I think a lot of that toxic negative energy and stress can really contribute to that. Because you know, I was never diagnosed with it any other time in my life. So, you know, twice in that relationship. So it was like a wake up call.
And when you give people hope and encouragement, like what is something that you would tell a woman right now if she's watching this video and she needs to step away from either an abusive relationship, a toxic relationship, or if she's feeling hopeless? Because even, you know, Tamar Braxton, we had no idea that she was even going through her struggles. What would you
Yeah.
tell someone right now who's
I would definitely say, you know, like I said, love yourself first and really look at, you know, the negative toxic patterns that are in your relationship, and just remember that you deserve more. You know, and most people have at least, I know sometimes, you know, when you're in those relationships, you are kind of isolated. A lot of times there's a lot of manipulation and isolation that goes into it. But if you have, you know, even just a couple friends or family members that you know you can count on, that you can talk to, that are going to support you through it, you know, if you really make an effort to, you know, let them know that, you know, you need to get out of the situation, I'm sure they'd be willing to help you and support you through that. So
what
that's
what is a song that you would recommend for them to listen to at this point in their life if they was
of
needing
my
some?
songs.
Yes.
I would say definitely Aim Easy and Head in the Clouds. And then there's another song called I Got This. So that's another good one. It's basically just about, you know, telling yourself, I got this. I'm never gonna let me down. I'm gonna, you know, take care of what I have to take care of, do what I have to do. I got this.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is one of the songs when you first fell in love with your husband? What would you say the first when you started writing? What notes did you
I would say Enough of Your Love is definitely one that I wrote, you know, during that time. I I still love that song. There's a video for it on YouTube as well. But you know, the words are just like, I wake up with a smile, watch you sleep for a while before I go, radiating a glow that lets everyone know I'm yours for sure. And talks about like, I'm thinking about you plus me, you get me from A to Z, I'm seeing you in my dreams. It's just all the positive energy that comes with, you know, when you finally find that true love.
That is so beautiful. I mean, like, I could just see the sparkle in your eyes.
Aww.
And I can tell that you are so in love with your husband, and that's really wonderful. And you know, like during this pandemic, have you been doing a lot of writing? I know you've been shooting videos. You have.
Yeah, I haven't been writing that much. I've really been. I've done a few songs, a couple collaborations. I feel like as we start to come out of it, I'll probably feel like I'm in the place to write, because I don't really like to force it too much. I like it to just kind of come naturally. I just go with the flow. You know, I've definitely got some music now that I want to write to and start a new project. So yeah, I'm just gonna start getting into that, and I'm gonna. Oh, my son just gave me a kiss on the forehead. I'm in the middle of an interview.
I know.
That's okay. That's okay. We welcome
I
him.
love you too. He said, I just love you. But yeah, sorry, I totally lost my train of thought. What were we saying?
That's beautiful. Like your kids do that to you though, right? They take your breath away. You just forget everything. But I know we were talking about where you're at with writing right now, and
yeah. Oh, sorry. Yes. So yeah, I'm ready to start writing again, and get in the studio and start recording some new songs. Definitely. So I know some people during COVID, it's like they've really buckled down on the writing, because like you can't really do too many things while you're on quarantine. But for me, it hasn't been as much, maybe because of all the health stuff I've been going through as well. Like since January, I've been in and out of the hospital maybe 6 times. And like I said, dealt with a lot of, you know, hard times. So I think as I kind of come out of that is when I start to write about what I
can't tell you enough. You don't look like what you've been through. You are absolutely breathtaking. You are also a winner of the People Award in 2016 and 2017. The best female singer.
Yes. So that's just like a local award. Definitely is nice to get, you know, some recognition.
Absolutely.
And go to the ceremony and everything. And actually had I don't know if you do you know who Louis Rankin is?
No, you know,
he passed away this past year, but he was in like Belly, Shatas. He's like kind of like a Jamaican. He's very well known Jamaican.
If I seen him,
actor.
I'll probably know who he was.
Okay. Well, he's a character. He just passed away, but he was actually at one of the award ceremony, and I was singing "Enough of Your Love," and he Kanye'd me. He like came up right in the middle of my song, came up on stage, snatched the mic from me, and was like, "This girl can sing. Everybody out there." It was nice to get that recognition, and then he just kind of gave me back the mic to continue. So it was just like a funny memory. That's on YouTube too. You can check that out.
Okay, I definitely will. And like, you really can sing. You have a beautiful voice. Like I said, the Head in the Cloud, I was listening to that over and over again because it's such a beautiful song, and it speaks to you. And I know you had someone else in the video with you that was singing along with you. What is his name?
Yeah, that was Ray Robinson, and he's been around for quite a while. He's a well-known Canadian artist. So it was really nice to collaborate with him. It was kind of a long time coming. He had a show called Artist to Artist. And so he had me on the show, and I was singing the original Head in the Clouds song. And he was just there harmonizing and dancing to it. And I was like, okay, we could put you on the remix. So we just kind of declared it there, and then we made it happen. So
Yeah, it was
definitely like
beautiful collaboration.
probably my favorite song that I've ever been involved in. So
Yeah, I mean, it was a beautiful collaboration. It was a beautiful video, and the way you guys actually, put it together, it was very inspiring. With everyone who held up the sign, there was a different story that kind of spoke to and I thought that was like a really great visual.
yeah, I just had a vision. Sometimes for videos, I kind of leave, a lot of it up to the director, or I might have some ideas that we brainstorm. But for this one, I really had like a clear vision of that's just what I saw for it. So it was great to work with Manolo Third Degree, and he definitely brought that to light. Um, so he also shot the video that we just recorded this past weekend. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it turns out, because we put a lot into that video, and two different storylines and a lot of friends and family members again, kind of reenacting what I went through recently in the hospital. And then I had actors also acting out, being in a toxic relationship that I had been in. So again, another video that's going to have, a lot of meaning to a lot of people, I think.
What are some of the things that you would talk to women about, and not just women that's going through like the stages of cancer, but also men? We have in the Black community, we have a lot of men who's dealing with prostate cancer and things like that. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things that you would really implore us to do as African Americans?
I think one of the biggest things is just advocate for yourself. I've been through so many situations where doctors have either dropped the ball, they have not given me information, I've been straight up lied to. Like, a lot of things have happened, to the point where, to be honest, I record most of my doctor's visits. I record them on my phone just to have that, not just to have proof. That's part of it though. And the other part of it is just so I can kind of listen back and see. Sometimes it's kind of all a blur when they're saying all these different things, and then you're like, well, what exactly was said here? And you can go back and listen. But I just think it's important to have somebody with you, or that can, be a witness or write things down, questions that might want to be asked, or if you can record it. And if you feel like something's not right, then make sure that you stay on it, and don't expect everybody, like doctors, to always follow through 100% and do everything that needs to be done. We have to really, look out for ourselves. I definitely think also when it comes to cancer, with my first diagnosis, I was just I was 26, I was young, I didn't know, what to do besides what the doctor said. Okay, you're gonna have a mastectomy, you're gonna have chemo, you're gonna have radiation, you're gonna have reconstruction. So I just did those, cut, burn, poison, Western medicine methods. And I never even realized that there were alternatives or complementary things that I could do. So I definitely encourage people to, do some research and look at what else is out there as well. There are so many things from nature that can, really help heal our bodies. And, I think if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't still be here, if I didn't actually, go outside of that Western medicine and, do other things that were complementary and natural. So I think that's really important too, is to realize that you have a choice. It's your body, and you can, decide what your course of action will be. And you don't have to choose just one thing. You can do anything that you feel is beneficial. I say, give it a try.
Well, I mean, that's some really great advice, and I know that you said that there is different things that you do as far as your own diet, taking care of yourself. What
Mhm.
would you say like has helped you as far as like the nutritional aspect of it? Like,
Well, the one thing I would definitely say, an alkaline diet. Um, I've been slipping up a little bit lately, but it's really, key. I drink alkaline water, and that's just kind of like something you don't even have to think about because you're just if you just get that jug of water and you're drinking your water, you're helping your body to be alkaline instead of acidic. And they say like cancer and disease can't live in an alkaline environment, so that's a really big one. I stopped eating red meat and pork about 10 years ago. Um, Still trying to cut down on chicken, but just trying to eat as many like live, raw, healthy foods, fruit, vegetables, as much as you can. I'm a big user of cannabis oil as well as just taking like multivitamins, probiotics, immune boosters. I've some I have a botanist who made me some special teas that were, made specifically for me and, the pain that I deal with on a daily basis and the cancer that I have. So yeah, I definitely think that I also want to say B17. If
okay,
you've never heard of B17 and you have cancer, Google it, go on YouTube, just type in B17 and um, that's something that's been um, used for many years, but kind of suppressed. And in a lot of communities where it was very high in their diet, the
hmm,
biggest source is apricot kernels. But where it was high in their diet, they had like no cases of cancer. Um, I also eat apple seeds. It's in apple seeds as well. So B17 is a big one for me.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. And when you they give you these like say these things to you that's horrible, like 2 days to live and things like that. I mean, that can take a mental toll on you as well.
I'm still processing that. Um, it was really hard on my kids. My youngest, who just gave me a kiss on my head, I had to
Sure.
tell him, like, having to tell him that was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And he said it was like the worst day of his life. And um, it was really, really traumatizing, And then, I mean, everybody's so happy that I'm still here and that I'm doing so much better. But then it's like anytime I'm around people, they're like, I can't believe you're sitting right here. Like, I can't believe you're actually here right now. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm constantly thinking about like, well, what would have happened if it didn't go this way? Like, what would be happening right now? Like, I would be gone, and you know what I mean? All these different situations, all these things that I had to like urgently think about that weren't done ahead of time. When you have that, hear that, because I've never heard that like short, definitive, period of time before. But my vitals were just all over the place. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't walk like more than 10 steps without sitting down. I couldn't breathe at all. So it was really scary. And I do a vlog on YouTube about living with metastatic breast cancer. So it was actually therapeutic for me to be able to kind of, um, do little videos of and document the process because a lot of times when like you're going through so much, it's just a complete blur. So
Right.
it really kind of laid out, okay, this happened, and then a week later this happened, and 2 weeks later this happened. And so even just for me to look back and say, like, wow, this I'm still processing it. It's still a lot, but I'm so happy to be here. I was, on the beach with my son today and just laying there, just thinking about, how lucky I am to be able to just lay there in the sunshine and still have my life. So
Absolutely, and absorb absorb like the sun and just feel it, and to be alive is a blessing. Like
yeah.
we have so much death around us all. No one's in the clear at this point. And that's a really sad way to think of things, but it's kind of like we have to live each day appreciating each hour that we have with our families, our friends, and I mean, you're so humble, and I'm still processing that. you were even told that.
Yeah,
So I can
crazy.
only imagine how your kids and your family, your loved ones is processing it, and then yourself. So just to hear that you give such encouraging words and like your testimony as far as what we can do with people's suggestions and things like that, that's really, really great. That's going to be great for our viewers because getting tested, was there something ultimately that made you go get checked out for it? Was
In
there?
the first situation, I'm pretty open with, my story. I basically had like milk coming out of my breast, and I was like, okay, I'm not breastfeeding. My youngest child was 3 at the time. So I was like, okay, something's not right with that. So uh, what happened was I went to my family doctor and they sent me for a breast ultrasound. And it was one of those situations where I called them and they're like, don't call us, we'll call you if anything's wrong. And I didn't hear anything. So I'm like, okay, everything's fine. And then 3 months later, I found a lump. So when I went back and they sent me for another breast ultrasound, I went to get my results and the family doctor was like, oh yeah, you still have a lump. It's doubled in size. And I was like, what do you mean still? Like, you didn't tell me I had one in the first place. So that was like my first real letdown by the medical community because like I wasn't told that. And if I was, I would have been looking out for it even more cautiously. And who knows, like I could have caught it before it spread as far as it did. So it's at that point it had spread to my lymph nodes already. And then although I went through treatment and got the all clear, 3 years later it came back to my spine. There must have been a microscopic cell there. So who knows, like, if that would have happened if the doctor was actually doing his job properly. So that's why I
Absolutely.
say, definitely look out for yourself. It's now, so it was in my bones for several years and has now spread to my lungs and my liver. So, as it progresses to each organ or body part, it's even scarier. But I definitely feel so much better than I did 2 months ago. So, um, the first week of August, I have a scan, so I'm looking forward to seeing the results, and I'm pretty optimistic that I'm in a much better place. I have a lot. I don't have any pain in my liver area anymore, so that's a good sign as well. So yeah, I mean, the whole idea of finding it. There's a lot of different ways that you can find it. I'll mention I'm part of the team for Feel It on the First. If you want Instagram, it's at Feel It on the First. And basically, we just try to let people know that they should do a breast exam the first of every month. And what you do is you take a selfie and then you tag 3 friends, and then they're supposed to do the same, self check for themselves. So it's just like a monthly reminder to check for any changes, abnormalities. um, and I know sometimes we're scared, but the sooner we catch it, like early detection can be key. um, it could be the difference between it being stage 1 and stage 4.
I
So
mean, what you're saying
yeah.
is that you might absolutely just save somebody's life by the information that you just shared because I had never known that milk coming out your breast could be a sign of something could be wrong.
Yeah.
That's actually the first time I've ever heard that. So you're going to save a lot of people's lives with sharing this information.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that, you hear about a lot. I don't know if a lot of people talk about it. It can definitely be a sign. So, um, for me, if people ask me, I tell you, because I feel like it's my responsibility to do so because,
So
I can help. If I can help one person, then it's worth it to me.
on the to fill it on the first, that's an Instagram page, and I'll make sure I provide that information as well. But is there a certain age that you recommend people start doing these checks once a month?
I would say, as soon as you're an adult, maybe 18, 19 years old. I mean, unfortunately, you know, we're hearing more and more stories of younger women. When I was diagnosed at 26, it was pretty rare. Like I had never met anybody or really heard of anybody that was my age. But now, I mean, I know people in their early 20s and late teens that have been diagnosed with breast cancer. I even read a story about a 10-year-old girl who was diagnosed and she went through treatment. So, I mean, you know, obviously you're not going to be doing real breast exam at 10 years old. but just being aware of your body and the changes, and as a parent as well, you know what I mean, just to even talk to, and not just your girls, men do get breast cancer as well. It's obviously
Right.
not as common, but I forget sometimes to say, like, women do the self check, but we do suggest that men do it as well, because it does happen, not as frequent, but it definitely can. If you feel a lump or something, doesn't feel right to you, make sure. I know a lot of men don't like to go to the doctor, so
Yeah,
just, I think
and
it's just being aware of your body.
absolutely, and we definitely want to keep the men in mind as well, because the breast cancer with them is not, they're not exempt from it at all. You
Yeah,
know,
actually, I just remembered. I think, didn't Beyonce's dad have breast cancer?
I believe he did. Matter of
Yeah,
fact,
yeah.
yes, he did. You're right. What would you suggest as far as like the process? I mean, there's a lot of theories of where cancer could be coming from,
Hmm.
but like you said, the younger and younger kids are, they're starting to develop cancer. Do you think it's coming from the processed food?
I definitely think it's, processed food, it's our environment, all the toxins, even just the toxins in like our cleaners, our deodorants, our body washes, our shampoo, conditioner. So for me personally, I've been trying to kind of transition to more natural products for sure. But I mean, you don't really realize how much we're impacted by all these different toxins, and just the whole environment and the whole way of life, with processed food, fast food, getting it quick, and there's a really big push for like a really protein rich diet, which can also contribute to these issues. And my cancer is very estrogen sensitive, so the hormones that are put in chicken or different meats, that as well can contribute. So yeah, I definitely think there's a lot of environmental and dietary factors for sure. Unfortunately, we're seeing, people younger and younger. So, I definitely think that, years ago you might have said, well, when you're 40, you get a mammogram. But now it's like, you got to be aware much earlier than that.
Okay. And what I'll do is I'll make sure I provide tons of information, links of where everyone can find you and read through your bio, and also go through some of the stories that you shared, because you said you blog about your story and your
Yeah,
tremendous survival. I want to make sure that I share that with my family here out in Chicago.
appreciate that.
And also, I know you just did a video and we kind of briefly touched on it. When will the video be released? Because I definitely would like to share that on my TV channel as well.
Yeah, I think it'll be released next month sometime, in August. I'm hoping to drop my album in September, so the video will probably come out just prior to that. But yeah, the song's called Ain't Easy, and it was actually on my EP as well, so it's on iTunes and Spotify and all the digital platforms as well. But yeah, it was actually kind of tough, but it could be healing to record, to shoot it, because we had like the whole hospital room scene with friends and family there at my bedside. And so I think it's going to be a closer look at some of what I've been through in my cancer battle, because Head in the Clouds definitely touches on it, but it doesn't really show the visual of like some of the things that I've actually been through, like you
Yeah,
know
I think you give like a little sneak preview on your Instagram page.
yeah,
Okay.
some behind the scenes
Yeah.
clip. Yeah.
Yeah. I seen a little bit. Like I said, I've been really kind of reading up on you, and I mean, I admire you so much and your
Thank you.
survival and your strength, and just you being so open and aware of not only yourself, but you're looking at, while you're looking out for yourself, you're actually looking out for others, to sharing
Definitely.
your story. Some people be selfish, and I don't want to say selfish, because sometimes some people just don't want to talk about it, because of the
Yeah.
pain. So, I mean, with you being so, forthcoming and honest and sharing, you know, your survival story. It gives us all hope, you know, and the little things that we seem to whine and complain about seem so small when you come across a person, you know, that experience so much pain, uh,
Yeah.
health wise, and you know, like that just make everything that we were complaining about, going through the fast food place and your food is cold, your fries is cold. It's kind of like, what are you complaining about? There's so many different other things that people are struggling with, you know.
Yeah, definitely. It gives you some perspective, I think, for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely, it gives you a lot of perspective. And when your video is released, what do you plan on doing? Like, are you gonna like make a big announcement? Are you gonna go live or?
I don't know. I don't really have anything big planned. Definitely gonna do, I'll be counting down the days until it drops, and I'll be, sharing it on my Instagram, and the link in my bio and everything like that. I'm thinking when my album actually drops, I might do like a virtual listening party type of thing, and maybe sing a couple of the songs. So I'm thinking about doing something like that. I haven't done any like virtual performances or anything. I know a lot of people are doing that right now, but I'm thinking about doing something like that. So
That'd be so
that
much
might
fun. We will absolutely love to be there and be
that
a
would be
part of
great.
that. Your
Definitely.
the video now. Do you plan on having any videos with maybe your kids being involved? Your
Yeah.
son?
So my son that just walked in on us, he was in the Head in the Clouds video, and he was holding the sign saying that he was born at 27 weeks, and he was a 2 pound baby, and and then I think the other sign says, he's healthy and strong, and he's actually in this one as well. Um, so he's in the Amy's video, and it's just showing him in the hospital with me, hugging me, and just, it was actually really tough for him to kind of relive that over the weekend.
Sure.
But I think it'll be healing. I think it'll be good. So yeah, this is the second one he's been in. My other two kids, I don't know about them. I know my oldest doesn't want to be in any of the videos, which is fine. My 19-year-old has autism, and he's nonverbal. So I mean, if there was something appropriate to have him in it, then I would. If I wrote a song about autism, something that you know really fit with this, if it fit with the storyline, then I would have him in it. Unfortunately, it's really hard right now with quarantine. Um, Even being able to, he's in a group home, so even being able to see him. Usually it's one weekend a month that I have him, but I've had to go like 5 months without having him home, so that's been really tough.
I'm sure.
Um, so we just kind of video chat on Facebook, and that's all we can do. But he loves music, so you never know. He might show up in one of the videos in the future.
What is it? Can you tell my viewers where they can find you at on YouTube?
Yeah, so just look up Faith Walker Music, and then if you're on my Instagram at Faith Walker Music, there's a link in my bio to my YouTube channel, which has all my videos and my vlogs on there as well. So there's just a couple different. Thank
Well,
you
is
so
there
much.
anything else you would like to say to the viewers here in Chicago?
Just shout out to the viewers. Thank you so much for taking the time to, listen to my story and my music. I hope that you'll, follow me on my journey. And thank you to you, Kimberly. I really appreciate your time, and, getting to speak with you about, music and just life in general.
Well,
I appreciate you.
thanks for coming on the interview. I really appreciate it. Okay, so again, we have Faith Walker with us tonight, a beautiful woman who's come on the interview to share her story. I need everyone to go to YouTube and to download her music and listen to her music and share her music on your Facebook page, share her music with your friends, you know, share her music wherever you can, and be inspired today by this woman. She has just shared so much of herself with us today. Definitely go on and listen to her music. She's on Instagram. Find her there. Subscribe to her, and just everyone be encouraged from watching this video. Faith, thank you so much for coming on. You are absolutely welcome to come back onto the show anytime you like. If you're ever in Chicago, please feel free to come and see Kimberly here at the interview in Chicago.
Definitely. Thank you so much for the platform. And yeah, I would love to keep in touch and come back on the show. I really appreciate, you trying to shine some light on some, not just music, but, some important issues as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
No matter what you go through in life, you gotta keep your head up. Keep it up so high, it's in the sky. Got to keep your head in the clouds.
You got to keep your head up.
It's getting heavy, the world is on my shoulders. Trying to fight to stand up strong. Feels like I'm drowning, the waves keep getting higher. Trying to hold on for too long. Don't give in and don't lose sight of the prize. You gotta keep holding on, holding on. And when darkness comes to cloud up your shine, you feel like all hope is gone, hope is gone. You're not on your own, no, oh no. Somehow you gon' find a way out. Not in this alone, no, oh no. Rise up, keep your head in the clouds.
Sometimes it feels like I've been stripped for my love, and it's hard to keep on. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like giving him a curtain call, and don't want to live on. Don't give in, don't lose sight of your pride. Got to keep holding on. And when darkness comes to into your life, remember the words to the song. You're not on your own. Oh no, 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 no. Somehow you gon' find a way out. Not in this alone. Oh no. Rise up, keep your head in the clouds. Yeah. Into the sky. Come on, my people. Rise to defy.
Come on, rise up and defy.
Odds in your life.
This
Yeah.
could be a blessing in disguise. You're not on your own, no, oh no. Somehow you gon' find a way out. Not in this alone, no, oh no. Rise up, keep your head in the clouds. You're not on your own, oh no. Somehow you gon' find a way out. Not in this alone, oh no. Rise up, keep your head